I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter. Hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that.
That lawnmower, that's that.
That does have a very athletic speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch.
Lamont Roach appears to be in panic mode after the release of Gervonta Davis's intense new training footage ahead of their rematch. Roach admitted that after watching the clip, he realized he'll have to push himself harder this time and train with greater urgency. He acknowledged that Gervonta looked highly impressive that night, still a dangerous fighter, landing the most powerful punch of their first encounter.
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's gonna be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder if that didn't get me the win. And I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not gonna lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter. Hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people get it messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
Gervonta Davis is training with unmatched intensity for the rematch, determined to silence his critics and prove he's still operating at the highest level. Focused and highly disciplined, he's pushing himself beyond limits to correct past mistakes and deliver a dominant performance that erases all doubt about his superiority in the ring.
That lawnmower, that's that. Start that motherfucker lawnmower.
I made the decision to train in DC because, you know, I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute, so I feel as though this will help me. I'm from Baltimore. He's not from DC. That's what I learned. I thought he was from DC too.
Gervonta Davis is leaving nothing to chance this time. His training camp is strictly business, with footage showing him gliding effortlessly in the ring during sparring. His footwork is precise, his movements are calculated, and his reflexes are razor sharp. He's not just going through a routine, every action is deliberate and driven. With the rematch approaching, Davis understands there's zero margin for error. The last fight taught him that underestimating Lamont Roach could be costly, and now he's pushing himself to surpass every previous version of himself. Beyond the finesse, Davis is also bringing unmatched aggression. In another clip, he's seen pounding the sandbag with explosive force, each punch thrown with undeniable intent. It's clear that this isn't just part of a routine, it's personal. The first fight left behind too many unanswered questions and a storm of criticism. Davis is now preparing like a man who doesn't just want to win, he wants to dominate. He wants this rematch to leave no room for debate, and his training intensity reflects that hunger. Renowned boxing analyst Teddy Atlas has openly praised Davis's distinctive skill set. He admires how Davis remains composed inside the ring, never rushing his punches or forcing exchanges. Instead, Davis methodically studies his opponent before delivering a precise, calculated strike. According to Atlas, what truly sets Davis apart is his adaptability. He can fight effectively at close range, from a distance, or in mid-range exchanges. With knockout power capable of ending fights instantly, Davis's unpredictability makes him a nightmare to prepare for. Atlas believes that when Davis is locked in and focused, he's one of the most complete fighters in the sport today.
Try to get to us, but we're going to frustrate him. He doesn't get frustrated. He takes his time. He's deliberate. You know, a lot of times at the beginning, people thought he was just a seek and destroy missile. They thought he was just a guy that got to you. And they thought that he would get over anxious. He don't get over anxious. He takes his time. He slowly closes those gaps. You know, inch by inch, step by step, and then he gets to you.
Despite the controversial draw in Davis's first clash with Roach, Rolly Romero remains fully confident in Tank's abilities. He maintains that Davis is still a top-tier pound-for-pound talent and dismisses the fight result as nothing more than an off night. Romero pointed out that one shaky outing doesn't erase the legacy Davis has built over his career. In his view, Davis's overall skill set and knockout power still distinguish him from the rest of the division. With the rematch approaching, Romero is certain Davis will bounce back and remind everyone exactly why he's considered one of boxing's elite fighters.
That people want to discredit Tank, he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a off night with Cruz. Everyone has a night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
One of the clearest distinctions between Gervonta Davis and most of his opponents is his raw knockout power. Unlike fighters who depend solely on volume or technical precision, Davis possesses the rare ability to end a fight with a single, well-timed shot. Observers have noted that he doesn't need to chase the action. His power becomes deadly once he finds his rhythm. In contrast, while Lamont Roach demonstrated impressive technical skill and composure in their first meeting, he lacks the explosive finishing capability Davis brings. Many believe that once Davis settles in during the rematch, the pressure and sheer power he unleashes could overwhelm Roach, potentially finishing the fight before it reaches the final bell.
Because Gervonta Davis is a puncher, so the extra aggression, you have to manipulate it little by little. You know, you have to instigate the extra aggression little by little. You have to get your timing in there. You have to get
my pushback.
And also, this is a southpaw. A southpaw sometimes takes a round or two extra to sort of get their timing, get your distances, because every southpaw is a little bit different. Right now, granted, they know each other, they fought in the amateurs, but it's still a lot of years away. And Gervonta does have a very athletic, speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing, like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch, he still has what I also said in the past, a very good IQ. He's very well trained and very intelligent. His thought process in the ring has a great sense of positioning and a great sense of understanding of where he is in the ring and how to react off that. Could he be a little aggressive, more aggressive? Sure, but you got to keep in mind that you're fighting a puncher who's coming from the southpaw stance and coming from the southpaw athletic angle. Personally, me, especially knowing what has been said about Gervonta behind the scenes for years that nobody brings out, and it kind of brings to light why they keep matching him with 15 and 20-1 underdogs. There is a rumor that behind the scenes, the Gervonta, there's a lot of bitch in him. There's a lot of front runner in him. If you push him, he will break, he will fold. It starts to add up because Lamont is from the D.C. area. They kind of know this. They grew up around him. They fought in the amateurs.
His father, who's his coach, has coached Gervonta in fights.
So that thing sort of comes to light where it's been held back from the public with the limited opposition level that Gervonta's fought most of his career.
Boxer Jaron Ennis shared his thoughts on the fight, stating that although Davis didn't dominate the entire bout, his early rounds were effective. He pointed out that many fans overlook the fact that Davis landed strong shots and controlled the tempo in the initial rounds. Ennis emphasized that the first match sparked more conversation about Davis's image than his actual performance. Now, the rematch gives Davis a chance to silence the critics and remind everyone why he's still regarded as a top-tier fighter. For Gervonta Davis, this rematch with Lamont Roach isn't just about settling the score, it's personal. The controversial draw in their first bout hit his pride and raised serious questions about his place among boxing's elite. Davis knows. His reputation took a hit, and he's fully committed to setting things right. This isn't just another date on his fight calendar, it's a mission. He's training with unmatched focus, pushing his limits, and preparing to erase every doubt surrounding his performance.
About fights. Gervonta Davis, draw with Lamont Roach. People looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What'd you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. You know, I had it 7-5 Tank where you can make it the draw, but I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job actually. You know, I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. You know, and I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first like 5-6 rounds. You know, he was like boxing and frustrating him a little bit. You know, but Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job. You know.
Yeah, some people had it Tank, some people had it draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being a big name, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. You know, I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still like frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. Like, he looked sharp than me. You know, I don't know. People just be talking. You know, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Davis isn't just aiming to defeat Roach. He wants to dominate, send a clear message, and reclaim the respect he believes was lost. For him, this rematch is about legacy, redemption, and proving that he still belongs at the very top of the sport.
You gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it. So, Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already notable. The fact that he went toe-to-toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter. Because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevensons, and etc., the Devin Haneys, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against a Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else. And that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. There was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was gonna look at that like, I don't want her braiding my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims on all his receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares. No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
Following the first fight, Teofimo Lopez commented that Davis seemed somewhat abandoned by parts of the boxing community. The draw cast doubt over him, and many began to question whether he had lost his edge. Lopez observed that Davis is now fighting not only Roach, but also the perception that he's on the decline. This rematch serves as a test to see whether Davis can overcome that narrative and win back the public's confidence.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw, look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but you know, it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
The initial bout with Roach turned out to be one of the most grueling challenges of Davis's career. Roach didn't just survive, he competed at an elite level and presented problems Davis hadn't faced before. Many fans noticed Davis struggling with Roach's timing and reach. The rematch will reveal whether Davis can adjust and evolve, or if Roach truly has his number. Either way, it's a true test of Davis's growth and resilience.
And most notably, I'll just speak about a fight that, we just had with Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. My message to Tank after that fight, it was given a draw. A lot of controversy around Tank taking a knee due to hair banding his face or his eyes, so forth and so on, and burning his eyes. And, in my opinion, it was a competitive fight. The judges judged it as a draw. A lot of people saying it was rigged, all these different things, so forth and so on. Whatever it may be. The fight is over.
Trainer revealed that they came into the first fight fully aware of Roach's abilities. Their strategy was deliberate, though it didn't produce the desired outcome. Interestingly, the team may not change much for the rematch. Instead, they plan to refine the same approach and improve its execution. This shows they still have confidence in their original plan. It just needs to be better delivered this time.
Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, that they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity,
Speaking of rematches, Jalil Hackett is getting his opportunity again to fight the guy that he had a controversial loss to. It'll be happening in Florida, I think, next week?
March 15th, I think. Let's talk about I'm rocking a major shirt now.
Major.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how's that rematch look like, and then what's the difference makers coming into this fight?
The first fight, I thought, everybody thought Jalil won. We just got to turn, hit the gears a little harder. We ain't really got to change too much. Just got to put the icing on the cake, Put the icing on the cake this time, that's all. He did enough to win the last fight, but we was in somebody else's territory,
This time around, being in Florida, do you feel like it's a mutual zone?
Yeah. It's more of an even playing field in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like he needs a stoppage to win the fight due to what happened the first time?
Not necessarily a stoppage. A stoppage is good, but not necessarily.
Henry Garcia offered a different perspective, suggesting that Davis may have been mentally off balance during the first bout. He pointed to the absence of longtime trainer Calvin Ford as a possible factor that disrupted Davis's rhythm and preparation. Garcia also hinted at potential off-ring issues that could have affected Davis's focus. For the rematch, he emphasized Davis will need everything to align both mentally and physically if he wants to return to peak form.
No way you could say Tank won. There's no way.
Do you think that he's diminished in some way, or do you think that just mentally he just wasn't there for the fight?
Well, a little bit of both. His age is catching up to him. His legs aren't there as he used to be. And, he switched his trainer, that's could be another factor.
With Barry Hunter being the head trainer and Coach Calvin being outside.
Yeah, but he snapped at Calvin too. So that's, there was something going on. I really don't know, and I couldn't really speculate on that because I don't know. But I know that something was bothering Tank because Tank is a good fighter and he's out to hurt you, But hey, Lamont Roach stood his ground and he did a great job.